Jai Hind. I am Dr. Preeti. I will be taking subject analog circuit with subject code KEC 402. In this lecture, I will be discussing about the diode circuits of unit 1. So, in this lecture, I will be discussing about the basics of the diode, what is diode and the characteristics of the diode. Because before moving on to the diode circuits, we must know what is a diode and how it's behave with the change in variation across it. And next we will see the different circuits based upon the diode. So, in this figure you can see the first one, that is the representation, physical representation of the diode. A diode looks like this, and the second one is the symbol of diode, and this arrow is showing the flow of current inside the diode. Similar to the diode, we have studied about one component, that is resistance, and about the resistance we know that it can allow flow of current in both the direction. So, if we have a resistance of value R, then it can allow flow of current in forward as well as in reverse direction. It has a linear characteristics. As the voltage across this resistor increases, the current increases linearly with the increase in the voltage. But that is not so with the diode. In the diode, we do not have the linear variation of the current. It is a non-linear device. So, we will see that how it behaves non-linearly with the variation in voltage. So, first we will see that how a diode behaves when we apply different voltage levels across the diode. So, first we will see that what is the state of a diode when it is not having any biasing. So, this is the structure, cross sectional view of the physical structure of the diode. On the left side I have a P type material, on the right side I have a N type material. As we all know that P type materials are having the holes as majority carriers, and N type materials have electrons as the majority carriers. So, at this side we have electrons in majority, at this side we have holes as a majority carriers. So, what happens when there is potential gradient, or we can say concentration gradients into the charge carriers? On P side we have more number of holes and less number of electrons, and on the N side we have less number of holes as compared to the electron. So, there is a concentration gradient on both the side. On P side the number of electrons is less as compared to N side, and on the N side number of holes is less as compared to the P side. So, due to this concentration gradient, the charge carriers, holes and electrons move from higher concentration to the lower concentration. So, here on the left side holes are in majority carriers. So, holes will move from left to right and the electron will move from right to left, as electrons are in majority in the N type semiconductors. So, when an electron moving from N side towards the P side and it crosses the junction, it leaves behind a positive immobile ion near this surface. So, here you can see the positive charges are represented to show the positive immobile ions. Similarly, on the P side, when a hole moves from P side to N side, it leaves behind a negative immobile ion at the surface. So, due to the movement of carriers from P type to N type and N type to P type, there will be a formation of negative immobile ion layers towards the P side and positive layer on the N side. So, formation of this layer will contribute to the electric field from P charges to N charges, or we can say from N side to P side. So this formation of electric field will stop further movement of the charge carriers. One more point with this is that if the holes and electrons are moving due to the diffusion process, then obviously it will be having some diffusion current, and as there is electric field created here, so that electric field will also contribute to the current. How it will happen? Now if we want to conduct a sufficient amount of current to this diode circuit, then we will apply the forward bias to the diode. What is forward biasing? When we connect P side of the diode to the positive of the battery and N side of the diode to the negative of the battery, this type of connection is called as the forward biasing of the diode. So what happens in forward biasing? Positive is connected to positive, and initially before biasing we were having the field in this direction. Now with the polarity of this battery, it will apply a field opposite to the already existing field, and it will effectively reduce the amount of the field that was created without biasing. With the reduction in the field, there will be thinning of the depletion region, and now the more number of charge carriers start moving from P side to N side and N side to P side due to the effect of electric field, and that contributes to the drift current. So now we have two types of current with this diode. One was the diffusion current, that was due to the flow of charge carrier due to concentration gradient, and drift current that flows due to the effect of electric field. This diagram is showing the forward biasing of the diode. If a diode is connected in forward bias, it allows flow of current, and we can consider it as a closed switch. Next, when we bias the diode in the reverse biasing mode. Reverse biasing means we have connected P type to the negative of the battery and N type part of the diode to the positive of the battery. So it will add to the field that was initially existing, and now the amount of field that will increase, and there will be more number of charge carriers, immobile ion, near this surface, and it will broaden this depletion region. As the depletion region is broadened, so the number of charge carriers that were moving from N side to P side will further feel some force, and they will stop moving. So there will be no flow of charge carriers, and there will be zero current when we have made it reverse bias. And in reverse bias, we can represent the diode by an open switch. The circuit represented here is showing a diode that is connected in reverse bias mode. This is the diode P side and N side, and as you can see, N side is connected to the positive of battery and P side is connected to the negative of the battery through the resistance R. So in this way, this diode is acting as a open switch, and the value of current here will be 0 for this type of connections. So now we will study in more detail about the characteristics of the diode. So first, considering the case 1, when there is no voltage drop across the diode and it is offering 0 resistance. So in that case, this is the diode P side and N side, and as we have considered that it is not offering any potential drop, its cut-in voltage is 0. So cut-in voltage 0 means that this diode will start conducting even at very lower value of the voltages. So here in the characteristics we can see on the x-axis we have diode voltage, on the y-axis we have the current flowing through the diode. So when the cut-in voltage is 0, so when the voltage across the diode is 0, so there is a sharp rise in the current, there is flow of current when the Vd is 0. So that condition is represented here. When in the forward bias condition, it is acting as a closed switch without any drop, without any resistance, and it will conduct some amount of current. That current is represented by this vertical red line. So what will happen in the reverse biasing? In the reverse bias mode, it will act as an open switch and there will be no current flowing through the diode. So that zero current is represented by this horizontal line. The diode voltage across the diode is increasing in reverse direction. Reverse direction means negative voltage across the diode, but the current is 0. Next case, when the voltage drop across the diode is having some value, let us say Vt, and still we are considering that it is offering 0 resistance to the flow of current. So as their cut-in voltage is Vt, cut-in voltage Vt means this diode will start conducting after the voltage increases across it beyond this threshold cut-in voltage. So in this figure, the cut-in voltage is taken as 0.7 volts. So cut-in voltage is 0 volts, means on the diode voltage when it reaches to 0.7 value, after that the current increases sharply without any resistance. As we have considered here 0 resistance, so when the voltage across this diode reaches 0.7 volt, there is no resistance to the flow of current, the current increases sharply. That we can represent like this, a closed switch in the forward bias. So diode is represented as closed switch and voltage drop across this is represented by 0.7 volts of battery. So in this way we can represent a diode that is having a cut-in voltage of 0.7 volts. Similarly, in reverse biasing, the current will be 0 because in reverse biasing the diode will act as a open switch. So the reverse bias current will be 0 with the negative voltage across the diode. The third case, in which we will be considering some amount of cut-in voltage for the diode along with the finite resistance that is being offered by the diode. So what will be the change in this characteristics? This is the diode voltage, this is the diode current ID. So we can see that as the voltage is increasing and reaching to threshold voltage, now the current is not increasing sharply as was in previous case where we have considered the 0 resistance offered by the diode. Here we have finite resistance, so the current will increase slowly with some slope and the gradient of this line will be depending upon the value of resistance, that is 1 upon Rf. We can say if Rf is the forward resistance offered by the diode. And how we can represent this diode? That is having the cut-in voltage of Vt and some finite resistance Rf. So if it is forward bias, then we can represent it with a closed switch having a potential drop of Vt, and if we take it as 0.7 volts and having a finite resistance RF. So in that way we can represent a diode that is forward biased and having cut-in voltage of 0.7 volts with forward resistance RF. And if it is reverse biased, then we can represent it by a open switch and a potential around it, that is VT 0.7. This VT will vary depending upon the semiconductor material used to design that particular diode. So here we have some resistance of the diode that is being offered by the diode to the flow of the current. So combining all this, we can draw this diode characteristics. On the x-axis we have voltage, that is voltage across the diode, and on the y-axis we have current flowing through the diode. So here you can see there is cut-in voltage, after which the current is sharply rising, and correlating with the previous discussion, you can find that this characteristic is showing the characteristics of the diode, that is having a forward voltage drop of some value Vt and a finite value of resistance. If you see the reverse characteristics, then as the diode voltage across the diode is negative, then the current variation is very small, and after certain voltage the current increases rapidly, and this region of the current is called as breakdown voltage. This is breakdown current, and the voltage at which it happens is called as reverse breakdown voltage, and this current that is flowing in the reverse bias is the leakage current that is not desirable, and the cut-in voltage that is also termed as the knee voltage of the diode. As I told you, this voltage value, cut-in voltage value, will vary depending upon the material used to form the diode. So here you can see for the germanium we can have the voltage across this diode as 0.3 volts, and for the germanium we have 0.7 volts of the cut-in voltage. So these are the simple representation of the diode symbols and its actual representation. This is the characteristics of the different diodes made up of different materials: gallium, germanium, silicon and gallium arsenide. So the shape will remain same with the different amount of cut-in voltage and reverse current. So for the germanium we have 0.3 volts of cut-in voltage. For silicon, as I discussed, it is 0.7 volts. For gallium arsenide we have 1.2 volts of cut-in voltage. And if we see the reverse characteristics, then we can find that for the germanium the reverse current is highest as compared to the other two, and it is minimum for the gallium arsenide. Then now this is our main topic of this unit, that is rectifier. This rectifier that we will study based upon the diodes. So first, what is rectifier? A rectifier is an electrical device that converts an alternating current or an alternating voltage into a DC current or a DC voltage, and this process is called as rectification. And in we have two type of rectifiers, half wave and full wave rectifiers. Depending upon the type of rectifier, we get this output that we will see in detail, that how different type of rectifier behave to a input. So classification of rectifiers, we have two type of rectifiers, half wave rectifier and full wave rectifier. Full wave rectifiers are further classified as center tap full wave rectifier, that is 2 diode full wave rectifier, and a bridge diode full wave rectifier. In half wave rectifier we have 1 diode. In full wave rectifier we have 2 and 4. So, for this we have 2 diodes and for this we have 4 diodes. So, we will separately study about the circuit and functioning of all these rectifier circuits designed using diodes. First, half wave rectifier. Half wave rectifier is made up of a single diode and it rectifies half of the wave of the input signal. The input could be a single phase supply or a 3-phase supply, and this half wave rectifier will convert it to the DC of half of its part, means it will allow the flow of the input into the only one cycle. So, let us see how it works. Here we have a diode that is connected across a AC supply and a load resistance RL is connected. So, this is the circuit for half wave rectification. So, this diode we can connect in forward biasing mode and reverse biasing mode depending upon the polarity of the supply voltage, and we will get this type of output voltage. This is the input, this is the positive cycle and negative cycle, and if you see the output in this, the negative cycle is not there, we are getting only positive cycle. So, that is rectifying half of the input signal. Only positive cycle is appearing in the output, negative cycle is not there. So, in the half wave rectification we can connect this diode circuit in different ways, in two different ways, in which in the one cycle we can get the positive pulses. We can have a different half wave rectifier in which we will be having only the negative cycle appearing across this output of the diode. So, let us see how this half wave rectifier works for the positive half cycle of the input. So, this is the diode, input is positive and I am connecting a load resistance RL. So, when positive cycle appears, means this side is positive, this is negative. So, diode will be forward biased and it will conduct some current ID. So, that current will flow throughout the circuit. So, in that way, if this is the input, I am taking only one cycle for the analysis. This is the maximum voltage of the input Vm. Then at the output side, we get, when it is positive, then diode is forward bias and we will get corresponding output across this load resistance. So, if I draw this output voltage, then we get the positive cycle of the input. So, in that way the positive cycle will appear. Next, what will happen if the negative cycle of the input appears at the input side? Negative side of the cycle means now we have polarity like this and we have the diode and a load resistance connected across it. So, now this negative is here, positive is here and diode P and N. So, now the negative of the battery is connected to the positive of the diode. So, this diode is reverse biased and it will act as a open switch and there will be no current flowing through this diode. So, we will get the, I am making the output for the positive cycle also. So, this was the input. So, if we draw the output, then as we have seen, the positive cycle was appearing for the positive cycle. Now, for the negative cycle, it is open circuited. So, there will be no current and no voltage will appear across this diode. So, in the negative cycle, we will not get any output. So, in that way, this half wave rectifier rectifies the half of the cycle. So, from this I will continue in the next lecture with more details of the half wave rectifier. Thank you.